Hey everybody, it's me, Jill. Welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 9, Episode 4, Housewives and Heifers. Oh boy, we are still in Oklahoma, and for some unknown reason, I have 14 pages of notes on this episode. I have no idea why, so I'm just gonna try to talk fast and get through it quickly. The show opens with the ladies going out to dinner in Oklahoma. Side note, you know how they play the taglines at the very beginning? I couldn't help but laugh at Teresa's. These days, I don't throw punches, I roll with them. Yeah. You are really rolling with the punches, Teresa. So they're in the van, they're going to dinner, and it's quiet at first, and then finally Margaret asks Melissa and Teresa, did you guys work things out? And Melissa said, yeah, I went to her room and we talked because I didn't want this dinner to be as awkward as breakfast was. So the restaurant they go to is called the Painted Horse. They're sitting down at a table. It's just the six of them, no Polly or Lexi. And Jackie said, I don't really like cold weather activities. Like I've never gone skiing. And Jennifer said, oh, I took the kids skiing once. Never again. It was so much work. Someone asked her about a nanny. I think Teresa said, do you have an au pair? And she said, I don't have a nanny to raise my kids. I have a wife, like I call it my wife. I have someone to cook and clean for me. And then she explains by saying, well, I have 7 bedrooms upstairs and there's 2 bedrooms in my basement, but like my basement has 11-foot ceilings. Who cares? Is that supposed to be some sort of an explanation? Oh, yes. Well, of course you need help cleaning those 2 extra feet of wall height. What are you babbling about? You can see on Margaret's face, she is just dying. And to the confession cam, she says, ever since we got to Oklahoma, Jennifer has been bragging. Oh, but Jennifer is not done there, because then she goes on to tell the ladies that when the housekeepers leave, she does a random bag check. Yeah. The others are shocked. She's not winning friends with these comments. Dolores said, oh, I never thought to do that. And to the confession cam, Jackie said, so you trust them with your children, but not your silverware. Jen continues to win the crowd over by telling them that her entire house is surrounded by cameras. Margaret makes a joke and says, well, I guess the next step would be for you to get a moat. And everyone's laughing, except Teresa, who doesn't know what a moat is. So while they're at the table, Margaret suggests that they play a game, 2 truths and a lie. She explains how you play. You tell 3 things about yourself. 2 of them are the truth and 1 you made up. And the others have to guess which one is the one that was made up. So she goes first. And she says, I fooled around with my high school gym teacher. My ex-husband locked me in a closet when he was mad at me. And I've only tried cocaine once. Now, right away, I'm thinking, it's got to be the cocaine that's the lie, because who can come up with those other 2 wild stories if they aren't true? But no, the gym teacher story was the lie. I fooled around with my high school gym teacher? You just came up with that on the fly? Okay. Dolores goes next. By the way, I can't see how this game is going to be successful for Teresa. Can you? They actually don't show her taking her turn, but she's not going to be able to come up with 3 things and be convincing, you know? Anyway, like I said, Dolores goes next, and the first thing was, I had sex with Frank last week. The second one was, I bit a girl in the head. And the third one was, I had sex in an airplane. Everybody guesses correctly that the one that was not true was that she had sex with Frank last week. And she's like, how did everybody know that? I'm always being accused of that. Okay, you're not always being accused of it. Only Danielle accused you of that. Nobody thought that Dolores biting a girl in the head was the lie. Oh, God. Margaret said, so tell us, who was the guy you had sex with in an airplane? And I'm thinking, just tell me about the girl you bit in the head. She didn't, wait, did she say hit in the head? I think she said bit in the head. I like my version better. Plus, you know Dolores Catania would have bitten some girl in the head. Okay, Jennifer is next, and I am waiting with bated breath to see what she comes up with. Her first one is, I've had a Brazilian butt lift. I was once stuck in traffic and shit my pants. And one time my girlfriend and I went into the city dressed as dominatrixes, or what's the plural of dominatrix? Dominatrixes, or is it just dominatrix? Anyway, they were dressed as dominatrix, and Jennifer acted as her submissive the whole night. Okay, now, I mean, the last one has to be true because there was so much detail to that. There's no way she made that up. You guys, she said, no, my butt is real. So you pooped your pants in the car when you were stuck in traffic. Oh my God. I mean, you guys, how bad would traffic have to be for you to not hold it till you could get to a bathroom? I mean, that's disturbing. Okay, so they all had a nice time. The next morning, they wake up to the cows mooing again, and Jackie and Melissa are talking in their room, kind of about Jennifer. Well, Melissa goes, yeah, wasn't it so funny about the fact that she shit in her pants? And Jackie's like, uh-huh. But I can't get behind those like bag checks. You know, if you don't trust the people that you have watching your children, I don't understand that at all. So then Margaret comes in, and of course, you know, she's going to want to join the conversation because she's been holding her tongue the entire time they've been on this trip. So she readily agrees with Jackie, like, what is up with this girl? Meanwhile, we see Jennifer in her room, and she's calling home, and she's talking to Olivia, her 5-year-old. And let's just say Olivia appears to be having some separation anxiety. She's crying, and mommy, you're never supposed to leave me, which if she has never left her before, which I guess she claims that since she's been married, she's never gone on a separate vacation. So it's understandable that the 5-year-old is feeling some things there. I am more troubled by the way Jennifer handles the situation. Jennifer gets her to stop crying by saying, oh, I know, I'm going to be home very soon, and mommy is going to get you the biggest surprise toy ever. So Olivia said, the Hello Dream House? And Jennifer said, is that what you want, the Hello Dream House? And Olivia said, yeah, and see if they have it now. So Jennifer says, okay, I will. And Olivia's all better. Okay, Mom, thanks, bye. She hangs up, and Jennifer says to herself, oh, okay, now I have to get this dream house that's $400. Okay. And she's only 5 years old. That situation's only going to get worse. Even though $400 to her is probably the same as, you know, $20 to me, but that's kind of not the point. The point is that she's not helping her daughter be okay with her not there every single moment. Anyway, that's for another time with her and her therapist. Cut back to the ladies in Melissa's bedroom, and Margaret adds, hey, like with the sunset, all that one-upping I can't stand. And Jackie said, yeah, you're right. And then Melissa said, maybe because she's new to all of us, you know, she's just trying to prove herself. I think we need to give her a chance. If I were Jackie, I would have said, hello, I'm also new here. I don't have to act like an idiot. Everyone sort of agrees. Margaret said, you're right, I'll give her a try. And she did tell us she pooped in her pants. And Melissa goes, oh, any girl that admits to shitting in her pants is cool in my book. No. Why does nobody want to know why that happened? I feel like that's not normal. There's so many questions I would have. Like, how far from civilization were you? That was your only option. And how bad was the traffic? And good God, were you alone in the car? Because, wow. I mean, that's a situation right there that nobody's even talking about. Were you drunk? I mean, what happened? Just so many questions, and none of them make me think she's cool. All right, now everybody is down in the kitchen. They're having breakfast, and Polly tells them what they're going to do that day. So according to Polly, when kids are raised on a ranch, they learn how to show steer at cattle shows. And there just happens to be a show that morning that Polly has signed the women up for. Yeah. They all look like a little shocked, and she's explaining what they have to do, like they have to brush them out and blow dry them and just groom them, I guess. I don't know. So Margaret makes a comment that she feels a little guilty leaving Joe back at home with Marge Sr., who's, recovering from her facelift. And so we cut back to Jersey to take a little glimpse into that, and oh God. Poor Joe, he is running ragged, running up and down the stairs, getting her mashed potatoes and getting her pillow for her back, and then running back upstairs to get her Advil for her headache. I mean, honestly, Marge, could you not have told him all the things you need from upstairs so that he could do it in one trip? But the worst of all was when she asked him to rub her feet. He did it. I think it was just really sweet of him. I don't think that was fair of you to ask him to rub your feet. That was gross. Okay, back to Oklahoma. The ladies are getting ready to head out to the cattle show. And also, we see this big tent outside because after the cattle show, Polly has planned a big party for all the ladies too, where they're going to learn how to dance, and it's a big barbecue and everything. In the van on the way over, Margaret suggests that whoever loses at the cattle show, that they should have to sleep in the trailer. And Dolores, who has been sleeping in the trailer, said, okay, sounds good to me. So Jennifer's like, wait, Dolores, don't you like the trailer? Because Jennifer does not want to be in the trailer. She says, I don't think I could stay in there. It was very tight. I come from a very large house. I come from 16 bathrooms. Oh God, girl, you gotta stop. Margaret and Dolores give each other a look like, Dolores is about to deck her, I think. Margaret, I don't think would punch a woman. She could. I think she's got the physical strength, but Dolores would. That's what I think. And Jennifer, she is so tone deaf. She just is oblivious to the fact that what she's saying is incredibly rude. She goes on to say, I thought to myself, Oklahoma, a 1,000-acre ranch. I mean, I thought this was going to be some big, luxurious place. But one bathroom in the hall for all those bedrooms, it's really hard. Then she says, it's easy to move up in life and it's hard to go back down. Oh my God, do yourself a favor. Stop talking. Then at the cattle show, they meet their trainer, Derek, and he has them pair off. And each of the pairs will pick a steer that they have to groom. Right away, Teresa picks Dolores, and Melissa and Margaret pair up, and then Jackie and Jennifer are a team. There's this scene of Dolores brushing out the tail, and the look on their face is hilarious. Okay, so only one of the pair can show the steer in front of the judges. Since Teresa is deathly afraid of animals, that was a no-brainer to have Dolores be the one from their team. Then Jennifer right away says, Jackie'll do it. So she volunteers Jackie to do it on their team, and then Melissa ends up doing it on Melissa's team. Jackie looks super cute coming out. She's got a big smile on her face, and she's cute with her steer. Melissa's the same way. Dolores does fine. They all do pretty good. And then in the end, the runner-up is Melissa, so that was second place. And then the winner was Jackie. So the loser was Dolores, unfortunately. And she's already in the trailer. So Jackie winning meant that she also saved Jennifer from going in the trailer. Now they're back at the ranch and they're getting their makeup on and they're getting ready for the big party that night. Teresa calls Melania, you're not gonna believe what I did today. I had to wash and blow dry a steer. And then Jennifer called home and talked to Bill. And of course she tells him, I'm so ready to come home. I'm done with this place. But then she said that I think Margaret and Dolores are a little on guard towards me. So she wants to invite them over with the kids and everything to her house to have a little party. And she said, I just wanted to check with you first to see if it was okay with you. So he said, that would be exciting. So I don't know if it was editing, but I'm still scared that a terrible punishment awaits her when she gets home for having asked him on camera, To be fair, he didn't do anything wrong during this whole scene, so. I I would be very, very surprised if my opinion of him changed, but I would also be happy if it did. I would love by season end to find out that Bill is just a little sweetie pie. It's just, there's just no way I believe that will happen though. We'll see. Come on, Bill, prove me wrong. All right, so now the ladies are outside and they're just kind of standing around. They're all dressed and ready, and I guess they're just kind of having a drink. Jackie was telling Margaret how this vacation is different than anything she's been on and how much she really loved it. And she loves Polly's home, and she was just really happy to be there, which is kind of in stark contrast to Jennifer, who now says, so you guys, like a light bulb went off, and I don't know what her light bulb moment was, but it was really just her telling everybody that she had come up with this idea to have everybody come over to her house for a party next weekend. She would like them to see this house that she's been talking about. Good God, woman. There is more to life than your McMansion. If you didn't watch the episode, you are not going to believe this, but what she says next is, I've had people compare it to Monte Carlo or a hotel in France. What I've been describing to you guys just doesn't do it justice. So that's why I want you to see it in person. You know, I don't want to brag, and everybody laughs like, oh. All right, then they are talking about the hoedown that they're going to, and somebody asks what a hoedown is, and Margaret says, we're going to be dancing with the cowboys we met today. And Teresa, I don't think my brother's gonna like that too much. I don't know why he should care. After all, he's just your brother. Okay, I get she probably meant that he wouldn't like Melissa dancing with somebody else. But still, don't you think it's a little weird that her first thought is about her brother and not her own husband? She doesn't say, oh, I don't think my husband would like that too much. No, it's, I don't think my brother would like it. Your brother should not be at the forefront of your mind all the time. Maybe I'm projecting my own stuff on there. I have two brothers that I love very much, but I promise you, I don't think about either one of them more than I think about my own husband. We cut back to Jersey, and Joe is taking his kids and Nono and Melissa's mother, Donna, out to dinner. Joe, of course, makes an inappropriate comment about his mother-in-law. He says, drunk Donna is even better than drunk Melissa. If I were a little older... Oh, seriously? Why has the Me Too movement not made it to the Real Housewives of New Jersey yet? That's what I want to know. How are these men getting away with this here? And by the way, Nono is no better. The apple does not fall far from the tree, because Joe said something like, oh, I wonder what the ladies are doing in Oklahoma. And Nono said, other men. God, they're such pigs. By the way, this is in front of the grandkids, so real classy Nono. Anyway, Joe then goes on to say, I'm happy to be here with my family. This is really nice. And of course, Nono can't leave that alone. You are gonna spend your time only when your wife goes someplace. When your wife home, you never spend time with me. And Joe said, yes, I do. What are you talking about? No, for 2 weeks you don't see me. You don't call me. So to the confession cam, Joe is like, you know what? This is Teresa. This is all Teresa. She feeds stuff in his head and then he repeats it back to me. That's probably true to some extent, but I don't know. I don't trust Nono either. It's probably half Teresa and half Nono's own idea to lay the guilt trip on him. Okay, back in Oklahoma, they're walking through the grass to the tent in their stiletto heels. Why? To go play cornhole. I mean, you know, come on, ladies. Why aren't you wearing the cowboy boots you just bought at the Western store? You and I both know you're not going to wear those back in Jersey. You bought those with your vacation goggles on, and you know it. Now it's time for the dancing, and they're learning how to do the two-step. And listen, say what you will about Teresa, and I will say a lot, but she is at least trying everything. She's being a gracious guest and being a good sport and participating. And even though she can't eat or drink, she's still, having a good time. And I feel like I need to give her some credit for that. All right, like I said, everybody's learning the two-step and they've paired up with the cowboys who are teaching them, except for Jennifer. He says that Turkish women have to be respectful to their husbands. She says, I can just imagine telling my husband that I was dancing with some hot cowboys. Well, I mean, hot is a stretch. But even if they were hot, I think that that's an aspect of her culture that I just have a hard time with. I can respect cultural differences, but not at the expense of equality. That's just me. That's how I was raised. But anyway, everybody's having fun. At one point, Dolores says, I have never been called ma'am so much in my life, and I am loving it. Okay, now Melissa steps outside the tent to call Joe, and he tells her that he's playing cards with Nono and that her mom is there. She really appreciated that her mom's a widow and that he took time to, spend some time with her too while Melissa wasn't there. So when Melissa goes back into the tent, she's telling the girls, including Teresa, yeah, I just talked to Joe and he's with his dad right now and my mom and they're having a great time. Teresa just has this look on her face, almost like she's pissed off. And then to the confession cam, Dolores said, Melissa likes to tell Teresa when Joe is doing something with his dad, but she needs to tread lightly because she's going to spark a fire that Jersey hasn't seen in a long time. Jesus. First of all, of course she wants to tell Teresa when her husband is spending time with his dad. That's the thing Teresa's been complaining about all the time. So I don't understand why that triggers Teresa. Because she wants to think that her brother never sees him, and so when he does, it irritates her? I don't know. More like she wants him to spend time with her dad when she's around, because then it takes the pressure off of her. That's my feeling anyway. Okay, at one point, Polly introduces Jennifer to her friend Lad, who is a plastic surgeon, and Polly said, he's the plastic surgeon that did my eyes. Geesh, people, even Polly's getting plastic surgery. I am woefully behind. How many of you guys have had plastic surgery? I always feel like it's just for the very rich, but also I feel like plastic surgery, that's iffy, man. You could end up really looking odd. That scares me. Seeing so many bad facelifts and nose jobs and all that, that's enough to give me pause. But I would love, I want the lower, I want an eye lift. Oh. I want it all. So like I said, Polly is introducing Jennifer and Jennifer said, oh, my husband's a plastic surgeon too. Let me ask you this. What's plastic surgery like in Oklahoma? I don't know. We do it with a pitchfork? What was she asking? Lad said, it's busy. And she goes, really? And then Polly, good for her, Polly goes, she thinks we live in a third world country here. And they all kind of laugh, but she does. Not really a joke if it's absolutely true. All right, so the girls are going to have barbecue. Teresa manages to find some grilled chicken, and that's all she eats. God, I feel sorry for her. And then over at the bar, Melissa and Jennifer are together. Jennifer asks for a tequila on the rocks and takes a sip and goes, ugh, this tastes like rubbing alcohol. Melissa's like, ugh, we're out here in a tent. Just drink it, girlfriend. She goes, okay, I'll drink. I just have to hold my nose. And she literally is holding her nose while she's drinking her drink. Then, I don't know, once the alcohol gets in her, she becomes more obnoxious than normal. She's howling at a dog that goes by and real loud she goes, oh, barbecue, how cliche. Margaret is sitting there with Teresa and Jackie and Dolores, and Margaret's like, she really needs to tone it down. And even Dolores thinks that she's not being very gracious, and Jackie's like, and we're all going to her house next week. That house better be spectacular. To the confession cam, Teresa says, I think they're being too hard on Jennifer. She's just trying to be funny. Maybe they just don't get her humor. What humor? She's bragging about how big her house is. There's no joke there. This reminds me of Emily when she says that Shane is just being sarcastic, when he's really just speaking his mind and saying whatever rude thing he's thinking. When Shane says, I just don't want to be around loud, older, cackling women. That's not sarcasm. He really doesn't want to be around loud, older, cackling women. There's no humor there. There's no joke. He's telling you the truth. Just like when Jennifer mentions that her house has 16 bathrooms, that's not to get a laugh. That's just bragging. I mean, it's probably rooted in insecurity, but it's still not humor. And by the way, since when does Teresa recognize humor? This is the girl that 9 times out of 10 needs a joke explained to her. All right, now Jennifer and Melissa walk up to the others where they're sitting, and Polly is sitting there too. And Jennifer goes, how cool is it that we can drink wine out of a Solo cup and be cool with it? Oh yeah, you're really cool with it, aren't you, Jennifer? It's killing her that she doesn't have a stemmed glass. Oh, where is Dorit? Dorit and Jennifer. You guys, those two have to meet. They would be fast friends. Anyway, Dolores says to the group, could any of you guys see yourselves living here? You know, Jennifer, we all know what you're going to say, so you probably didn't need to chime in. But of course, she is the one person who goes, no, never. And Dolores said, I don't know. I love it here. Like I said, Polly is sitting right there. And very graciously, she says, well, you know, it's the country experience and not everybody gets it. Jennifer says, yeah, like if I have a few days off, like I want to go someplace sunny where it's glamorous. I'm thinking Oklahoma, do what? Like cow tipping? Again, nobody is laughing, and Polly looks actually hurt. But just in case she wasn't hurt, she finishes it off by saying, if I were to come back, I'd stay in a hotel. So Polly said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go. You guys can stay right here. I'm just going to go walk around. Okay, next, Polly said, can I get everybody's attention? I just wanted to talk about her friend Margaret and that she's known her for 10 years or 20 years. I can't remember. 20 years, I think. And what a great person she is, and that she came primarily to work on that Hospital Heroes project. And she's asked me to be involved, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. And then she calls Margaret up, and it was very nice. And then Margaret says some also very nice things about Polly, and she thanks Polly for her hospitality, for all of, you know, my crazy New Jersey friends. And to the confession camp, Dolores said, you know, Dolores really liked Polly, by the way. And she said, just seeing someone like Polly speaking so highly of Margaret made me look at Margaret differently. So this is like a huge breakthrough, you guys, because Margaret and Dolores, they were really on opposite sides last year, because Margaret was Danielle's friend and Danielle was Dolores's arch enemy. So this is really different for them. And it doesn't feel like they're just tolerating each other either. It feels like they kind of like each other. Anyway, Teresa kind of yells up to the stage then, and she goes, Polly, you have to come to New Jersey and visit us. And Polly goes, oh yeah, I will. And Dolores goes, and stay with me. And Teresa goes, no, she's staying with me. And it's cute until Jennifer goes, wait, what about me? I've got 16 bathrooms. Oh my God. No kidding. 16 bathrooms? I had no idea. Okay, now we are back in the house. It's later that night, and the ladies are sitting around in the living room area. And Teresa said, that was really fun. And Margaret said, oh, I think it was a blast. I had a great time. Jennifer says, what was that? Like, was that country music? What a snore. Well, Melissa thinks that's funny. She goes, oh my God, what did she say? That was a snore? And then just to clarify, Jennifer decides to make it better by saying, yeah, a snore, like people really listen to that kind of music. They should have switched it up, play a little house music, cater to your guests. Jennifer needs to go home. It has been a real long 2 days. Margaret, who I can't even believe she held it in this long, finally has reached her boiling point. And she said, you know what? You have just about the worst manners of anyone I've ever met. Jennifer, oh my God, I have the best manners. I really don't agree with that. And Margaret goes, it's a little socially inappropriate when somebody invites you in their home and you criticize everything. And Jennifer goes, okay, so it's inappropriate. What are you going to do about it? Well, where did that come from? So Margaret said, you like to one-up everybody. And Jennifer goes, what? Okay, now I'm insulted. Really? I'm trying to be funny. You mean Teresa was right? She was attempting humor? I find that hard to believe. I'm entitled to my own opinion. And now Jackie pipes up and she goes, well, yeah, but this isn't the time or place, really. Margaret says, let me give you an example. Like the sunset. Polly shows us a beautiful sunset, and you have to say, oh, well, it's better at my house. It's rude to my friend who opened her home up to us. Well, now Polly walks in and it gets really quiet. Nobody says anything. It's a little awkward. And then finally Jennifer says, I do speak more fast than what I'm thinking sometimes. And Jackie said, well, maybe you need to stop doing that. And Jennifer goes, well, I'm not going to change who I am. Okay. And then Polly, I didn't think Polly was going to get involved, but I was kind of proud of her. She said, it is offensive. I opened my home up to everybody. And then Jennifer said, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to be offensive. I mean, I thought I was being a team player. I didn't try to seek out my own room. I know this is not like the Four Seasons here. And Polly goes, okay, that was another one. Everyone's trying to get her to understand. Dolores goes, so can you see how you need to be a little more conscious before you speak? In the end, it seemed like this was all just like a big teaching moment for Jennifer. She did apologize pretty sincerely, I think, to Polly. And then she actually slept in the trailer. She chose to sleep in the trailer to prove that she was sorry, I guess. But my question is, why did Jennifer need to be taught that lesson? You know what I mean? She's a grown woman. Why did she not know that that was rude? I mean, no offense, but even Teresa knew not to be rude like that. And Teresa doesn't brag about her house either. Or Melissa. I mean, they all have giant houses here. Maybe not quite on the level of, Monte Carlo. But just, it did seem weird to me that Jennifer didn't come with that skill set. So weird. I don't know. Just seemed weird to me. Anyway, that's where this episode ends. And the previews next week show us that we are back in New Jersey. And it looks like more discussion about Teresa and Joe not spending enough time with No-No. Oh, bravo. I beg you not to make this the main storyline. Please. You know what would be a good storyline? Let's all try and find Melissa's long-lost sister. Now that's a storyline. That's different. It's interesting. We could hire Megan King Edmonds to get on the case and do some research. That would be great. But does Joe, who works and has a family, spend enough time with his aging father? It's episode 4, and I feel like we've already discussed it too much. Okay, so because this one's running so long, I'm not going to do the viewer mailbag today, but keep them coming. I do read all your comments, and I love them, and I try to respond to all of them if I can. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're on the fence about subscribing to Jill Informed, give it a try. You can always unsubscribe if you hate it later, but hopefully you won't. As always, I appreciate you very, very much. I hope I will see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Bye-bye.